Hello there, everybody. We're back. This might look familiar to you because this is a picture from last week's art lesson. I just stuck it on here so that we could kind of refresh our brains and remember what we learned about last week. If you did not participate last week, you can still do it. You could always go back to Google Classroom and click on the date from last week and then learn about abstract art. It was fun. But you can also just carry on with us today. I don't think I'm going to lose you in this project if you didn't do last week's project. They're connected, but I think you'll get it. So speaking of getting it, have you memorized this yet? We say it every week. I still have it listed as a repeat after me, but I'm going to go faster today. Let's see if you remember it, okay? I am an artist. I am a creator of ideas and a solver of problems. Sometimes the problems are on my paper, sometimes they're with my neighbor, sometimes they're inside of myself. But I know I can solve problems because mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow. And I am proud to be an artist. Did you do it with me? Do you have it memorized yet? The words are there. I just thought it'd be fun to see if we could do it. I'm proud of you as you are continuing on your journey of art and creativity and problem solving and risk taking and learning. You guys are doing great. Today we're going to learn about an artist. Her name is Alma Thomas, and she's a painter. But we're going to create something called a collage. You may know it already, but we'll talk about it in a second so you can understand a little bit more about what that means to do a collage. Here are two photos of Alma Thomas. She lived a while ago, and so the camera had been invented, but photos were still in black and white. It's almost weird to see these photos of her with her artwork because her artwork is so bright and colorful, and to see the artwork behind her there or next to her in this picture only being in the values of white and gray and black. It just doesn't represent her art because she loves color. In fact, let me show you. I mean, I'm not kidding, huh? She loves color. Here, let me get myself out of the way here. Wow. So she was a painter. So as you're looking at these images, a lot of ideas might come up. It looks like repetitive patterns. She used a paintbrush, so each color, each little section was a dash of her paintbrush. Whereas what we're going to do today is use small pieces of paper and lay them out to create something similar. You could, if you don't have paper or glue at home and you wanted to do this with a marker, you could. You could do it with gosh, I'm even thinking like chalk or crayon or oil pastel. You're just making dashes and dots and lines. Even if you love, digital art and you have your favorite online platform for digital art, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago with Chrome Canvas or is that what it's called? Not Audio Sketchbook. Oh no, help me, Clara. You know the name. I think it's Audio Sketchbook. Anyway, you guys love digital art. Those of you that do it, you have your favorites. So I don't need to be the one to tell you which ones you love because you already know. Alma Thomas was a pretty remarkable artist. She actually was an art teacher and only started to create her own art as an artist when she retired. So typically people retire and they just kind of chill out. And she started this whole next career. So this is her page on the Smithsonian American Museum on their website. So she's amazing. So look at some of her artwork. Definitely abstract. Actually, it would be more kind of non-objective in these ones, meaning you see colors, you see shapes, but you don't really see images. Even though she has titles, fall begins. Well, I can see the colors and I might associate, with the colors of the leaves, the reds, the oranges, and the blue sky. And then her artwork changes. Oops, I'm going to hit that load more. So even though she's always loved bright colors and she's always loved like repetitive patterns and dots, these down here are the ones that we're kind of going to be inspired by today, where I'm seeing a little bit more connection to nature. So this one's called the Eclipse. Do not look straight into the eclipse. And then here we're seeing Snoopy. I don't see Snoopy. Okay, I got distracted. Okay, as she continued to work, remember she didn't even start really painting until she was much, much older. And then here's one of the sad parts about her life and her career is that her hands developed something called arthritis, which just means that in her joints they started to really get inflamed or like kind of swollen, and then it was really painful. You might have someone in your life that has arthritis. But it stopped her from being able to hold her paintbrush quite so tight. So she went from, these repetitive little dash marks, and then I still love them though, these paintings with like bigger spaces of color. So she had to change her own style when her body said, okay, this is hurting, let's do something different. So anyway, just wanted to show you her artwork because I think she was amazing. And she is someone that I don't know a ton about. I'm learning along with you as I'm teaching it to you. So today, you might have to think about what you have around the house. So this is just a list. And I'll show you this list again in a second so you don't have to memorize it right now. Ideally, many of us love a nice, clean, white piece of paper. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. You could do a collage with anything. You could go to your recycling box and grab, I don't know, maybe you finished the box of cereal this morning. You take the box of cereal and you use the actual cardboard box, and you use some scissors and you cut it all up. Or maybe you tear it. Maybe you don't even have a cereal box, but you do have some old junk mail. Okay, make sure you ask your adult, hey, can I have this junk mail first? You just never know. So look around your space. And like I said, if you don't have glue or scissors, you could always rip it. You don't have to glue it. You could create the whole collage arrangement, take a photo with your Chromebook, and then save it forever. If you're feeling like just doing something different, maybe you got markers or crayons or something, you can take her ideas. Basically, here's what I'm saying. You can take the ideas from today and change the supplies that you have around, and you can still create the art. Even if the video is going to show scissors, colored paper, glue. Think about the look of it, think about the ideas behind it, and then make your decision about how you're going to make it. You are an artist. You're a creative problem solver. All right, so I'll come back to that slide again after we watch this. So obviously this is not me, but I'm blocking her. This is another art teacher. I love learning from other art teachers. And she has given me the idea that I'm now offering to you. Collaboration and cooperation. Here we go. Let's see what she says.
Hi friends, it's Mrs. Rock. I'm so glad you're here today. I was just cutting out some colorful strips of paper to use on our project. We're going to get inspired by the paintings of Alma Thomas. She's one of my favorite painters, and she made big, bright, colorful paintings. Bright colors make me really happy. But instead of painting, we're going to be making Alma Thomas collages. Get ready. Here are the materials you're going to need today.
If you have them. If you don't have it, don't sweat it.
Alma Thomas was an African-American artist and an art teacher. Her paintings were bold and bright and colorful. So we're going to make our artwork bold and bright and colorful also. But instead of using paint, we're going to be using pieces of paper and gluing them down to make a collage. Collage is a French word and it means to glue. So we're going to be gluing down pieces of paper so that our artwork looks like Alma Thomas's. Alma Thomas would use a lot of circles in her artwork, and her brushstrokes looked like colorful pieces of a mosaic. A mosaic is a work of art using tiles to create a picture. Each brushstroke was like one tile. In your Alma Thomas artwork, yours could be circular, like this one, or you might want to make something that looks kind of like a rainbow with your pieces of paper making an arch shape. Or you might want to think about making a different kind of shape. Like in this one, I chose to make a square, and all my pieces of paper are going around and around and around the square. For your collage, you're going to need a lot of these strips of colorful paper. And I'm just using construction paper, but if you don't have construction paper on hand, you could use some junk mail or old homework, or printer paper, or magazine paper, newspaper, any of that would work. And you could even color it with crayons or markers. I start off with whole sheets of paper, and you can even double them up like this and make sure the edges are lined up. And then I'm going to cut the strips of paper. They don't all have to be the same width. Some of them can be skinny, some of them can be wide, and some of them can be in between. That way you have a variety of pieces of paper to add to your collage. Now that I have all my strips cut out, I'm ready for my background paper. And I've decided to make another circular collage, just like Alma Thomas. So I need a circle to trace. You could use a cup. I'm using this roll of tape that I had lying around my house. And instead of putting my circle right smack dab in the center of my paper, I'm going to move the circle kind of off to one side. And I'm using my rule of thirds. It's as if I took my piece of paper and put a big hashtag over my paper, and I found one of those 4 intersections, and that's where my focal point is going to be. So I'm going to put my circle right on one of those points, not in the center, but off to the side. And that's where I'm going to trace my circle with my pencil. And there, I'm all ready for my next step. I'm going to choose a color for the center of my circle and tear the strip up into small pieces.
And she's going to use white glue, but if you have a glue stick, that would work.
Next, I'm going to add some glue to the center of my circle, and I'm going to draw with my glue bottle. And I'm going to carefully place my pieces to fill up the circle, making sure that I'm covering my pencil line. I want to hide that pencil line. For this part, I'm overlapping the pieces so I don't see any white spots showing through. And now I'm going to choose another color. For this first ring around my inner circle here, I'm going to use my glue bottle to draw the ring of glue in a circle around that inner circle. And then I'm going to place my pieces on that ring of glue, leaving a little bit of space in between each piece. Remember, Alma Thomas made her paintings look kind of like a mosaic. So each of our pieces of paper are going to be just like Alma Thomas's brushstrokes, the way she staggered them and made them kind of like a dashed line.
So this might be where you're being really creative and you're thinking, I'm just going to draw my design.
My collage, making bigger and bigger rings around this inner circle.
You can do all of this with marker or crayon or digital art too. Looks like it's growing, right? It gets bigger and bigger. She's almost finished. Now the parts that are sticking up, are you making any guesses? How she's going to clean that up? I don't know what I would do.
Collage is just about dry. I can turn to the back and see where all my pieces are coming off the edge. So I'm just going to take my scissors and snip those pieces off.
That's what I would have done. Actually, I would have pressed the back too to make sure everything sticks.
That was so fun creating my Alma Thomas inspired collage. I hope you had fun too. And remember, you could use this same idea to make a square or a rainbow or whatever shape you want. Remember, when you're creating, the possibilities are endless.
And now it's time for a joke.
Want to hear a joke about paper? Yes. Oh, forget it. It's terrible.
That's funny. Thank you, Mrs. Rock. It's a fun lesson. I can't get the page to turn. There we go. Okay. Oh, now I'm in the way again. So if you got it, use it. If you don't got it, find something else. What could you use? Any kind of scratch paper, any kind of junk paper, and then maybe you're not going to use the glue. Maybe you're going to use a marker. Maybe you're going to use a crayon or chalk or oil pastels. Maybe you're going to paint like Alma did. Maybe you're going to use digital. So when you're done, if you didn't glue it, be very careful taking that picture with the Chromebook. But if you did take a picture, remember you can just hold it up. And I think I've got it right on the next slide. Oop, nope, here's some examples. When you're taking your photo, notice how she tried to center her artwork right into the middle so that we could see the art and a little bit of the background. So this one is an example of adding crayons and markers to the art too. It's a great idea. There we go. This is what I wanted to show you. When you are finished, open up Google Classroom again. Well, you're already in it because you're looking at this video. At the top, when you first opened it, you opened to the stream. We want to click on classwork. And then at the top, you'll see this, not the yellow circle, but what's in the yellow circle, because you have this too. It's your personal art portfolio. So whether you're in second or third grade or fourth or fifth, everybody has their own. So this one happens to be second grade. Open it, and then let's see, how did it go? You find the image. No, you say insert at the top, like up toward the top of the slideshow. Insert, and then image, and then the drop down says camera. That's when you take your photo, and then you hit insert again. And then your picture shows up in your slideshow, and then I get to see it too. It's a win-win, you guys. Love that. So I cannot wait to see what you do. You know that I will leave, let me see, I'm going to back it up. I will leave some photos like these in the slideshow so that you can look at her artwork and get ideas. This one I love. It's like a sunset, and then I see a mountain. Do you see that with me? Kind of like, or maybe even two hills, like maybe a line of trees in there. All of those dashes and dots of paint and color. So beautiful. You could take your color wheel information and decide how to arrange your colors. You don't necessarily have to do the color wheel or rainbow order. She did it though, you guys. But just knowing like warm colors and then cool colors separated is going to make things look brighter. You know all this stuff. We've been learning it. Alrighty, can't wait to see it. See what you do today. Can I pause this? Or are we just going to be in this awkward moment where I can't find the button? Awkward moment. Here we go. Pause. Did I pause?